What's up? It's your boy, PxnkTxrtle, and you're watching another episode of the PxnkTxrtle Show, where I talk about what has my attention and why it should have your attention. Now, I said it was an episode on my show, but that's just me being meta. However, if you want to know what the current meta is, the new meta is to be an artist. I found myself on an artist page today. That artist goes by the name RealEyez. RealEyez is a personal friend of mine whose real name is Zebediah. You can find him on Spotify at H.A.R.T.U.N.G. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this, why I'm making this entire video, is because I believe Zebediah is one of the people you should pay attention to. He's an up-and-coming rapper with straight bars, okay? If you look, I have already left the like on his page, and I strongly advise that you leave a like too. But in fact, I'm going to be interviewing him, so Zebediah can himself tell you what he has in store and what you have to look forward to. You get to know him a little better, and I get to take a glimpse inside our punk's mind. Cause you know, punk is more than just a genre. Punk is a mindset and a mentality. It's about standing up for something. And believe me, Zebediah here stands up for something, which makes Zebediah here a certified punk. And that is why I'm going to be talking to him today. So just sit back and listen to two punks talk about stuff. Fucking flawless. And here I am with RealEyez, Zebediah, my personal friend I was talking about, that I want you all to pay attention to. Now Zebediah, how are you doing, man?
Oh, I ain't doing too bad, man. Nice and early in the morning. Got myself some coffee, and I'm ready to get this flowing, bruh.
Man, I got coffee too, man.
Hell yeah, cheers, bye.
Oh, McDonald's coffee.
Oh, it's just a McDonald's cup.
Oh, that is a fuck you to McDonald's and capitalism, and I am all here for it. Yes.
I feel fuck McDonald's. Burger King all the way.
So anyways, oh, Burger King, man, don't get me started. At one time, I heard they got a new veggie burger, alright? So I went to get veggie burger, and like, I sat outside waiting, and waiting, and waiting, waiting, for like a fucking hour. It was a really long time, and it was just one burger. Like, come on, it doesn't take that long. I get the whole changing grills and shit, but you gotta be more prepared. They didn't even give me a discount, man. It was bullshit. And I had some
free, man.
And I had some place to be. Like, I needed to pick up my little sisters from babysitting. Like,
man,
they were at Girl Guides or something, and I had to go grab them. So, fuck Burger King. They really irked me, and I haven't had them since. But being a vegetarian, it already limits my options. So anyways, let's talk some music. What are you working on, bro?
Currently, I just finished production on my latest album, Oblivion, which is coming out 4/20/2020 this year. So in about a week and a day from today, 8 days. I also have a single from the album already out that dropped on the 7th, and I have another one dropping tonight at midnight. Control. Listen up, baby. Check it out.
That's gonna be dope. You sent me some shit earlier before the interview that you checked out, and it was great as always. I'll pull up my Spotify if I can find my phone. It's in my pocket. But I have some of your songs on my Spotify, on like my main playlist, my H.A.R.T.U.N.G playlist that I play all the time.
Hell yeah.
What do I got here? Let's see. There is finding playlist H.A.R.T.U.N.G. I got Make It, What They See, and Inspiration all on the playlist. I listen to all the time, man. That playlist,
those are pretty great tracks.
that playlist I can just leave on shuffle, and anything that comes on is dope. So you're on that level, man.
Hell yeah, I like that. I like to hear that. Fuck yeah.
So man, you're wearing white, and white's not a color. What's your favorite color?
Ooh. You know, I've never really actually put too much thought into it. Well, I guess I'd have to go burgundy red, you know, because of the studio. You know, I got that black strip and
Yeah,
that
I noticed
burgundy red.
that. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
hell
fucking
yeah,
nice.
hell yeah. Kind of like a royal red, you know what I mean?
Nice. I want to get a studio going. I think that'd be cool to have my own like setup and stuff. No way I was thinking would be really cool. Can you
Mm.
imagine? Like one time I went to a place and their shop was like one of those crates, like from, you know, the ships carry the shipping crates.
Like the
So it was a
storage
shipping crate.
container?
Yeah,
Yeah,
storage
yeah.
container. But like the acoustics in that might be pretty nice. Like if you could like take that out, that'd be pretty cool setup. You could have everything you need in that little space.
You want to hear a story, bro, about those storage containers?
I fucking love stories, man. Tell me more.
Hell yeah. Well, you'll like this one. So, in the very beginning of my rap career, I worked at this place called Broil King. And I was just starting out the rap music and shit. And I worked out in the back in shipping and receiving. So, we had to offload and unload the trucks. So, the one time they pulled up an empty trailer. And I had my homie Boxer, who was the forklift driver. And then I had a buddy Skittles and a buddy Serb. And basically, we went to the back of the shipping container, so it's completely pitch black. And then we got Skittles and Serbs on both sides, and I'm like, lay down the beat. And then they started beatboxing, and then Boxer comes in with the forklift headlights pointed right at me, and he's like, spit that shit. And then I'd just be spitting in the back with the forklift lights on me while they were using the beat, and then the beat was
Oh
just
man,
the reverb. Oh, it was wild as hell, man. It was wild as hell.
I fucking told you the acoustics just seem great. Like it's the same way with roads. Sometimes I see road and just like, that'd be a nice road to ride my longboard on. You just know
yeah.
about things. And like,
Oh yeah, like the reverb was wild in there. Like the echo was just so cool, man.
makes me imagine that Childish Gambino video. Have you seen it? Childish Gambino released a song. What is the name of it? I'm gonna YouTube it right now so I can tell you. And don't want to get wrong. It's a fire song, and the video is exactly what I'm talking about here.
Didn't he just drop an album too, like not long ago?
He did drop an album, bro. And that,
Yeah?
man, spoiler alert, but my boy Randy, he heard about the album after me, because did you know he released his album like a few days prior as a little teaser? And so then he took it down though, and you can find it, and then released it again. So I already knew about the album, but Randy didn't, and Randy was like, yo, react to this. And I was like, man, I already know it. It won't be as genuine, and like, I'll see if I can find time for it. And he was like, man, if you react to it, I'll wait to listen to see what you think. And I'm like, okay, Randy, I got you, bro. I'll do this for you. So I'm gonna be reacting to that video soon. But
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
Gambino is one of my inspirations, man. The Glover is a madman.
I love Glover. He's awesome, man.
My favorite show in the whole world is Community, and like Don Glover's in it, plays Troy. It's a great show. You should really watch it if you haven't. Have you seen it all?
Oh yeah.
It's on Netflix right now, man. It's great. All 6 seasons, which is hard to come by. So
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So the song I was talking about was Freaks and Geeks, and in that video, he's like in this like empty storage warehouse, and like it just looks really nice, and they have the lights shining on him, and he's just jumping around, and like I can picture you doing that 100%. I see it. I see the vision.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
So man, want to hear another story? Go on a little tangent here, cause that's all
Sure.
I do.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know Uncle Ben's rice? Are you familiar with that? The rice company?
I haven't heard it in a while, but I have heard of Uncle Ben's rice, right?
Well, I work at a undisclosed company, and we sell Uncle Ben's rice there. And every time somebody buys it, I tell them, I'm like, you see this man on the rice? Did you know his name's Frank, bro?
Frank.
Yeah,
So why they call him Uncle Ben?
it's Frank. See, that's the thing. Frank was just in there. He was just being a nice man. And they go, hey Frank, we like your face. We won't buy your face. It's pretty wholesome. So they paid him $50. Yeah?
50?
50. And they're a multi-millionaire rice company. And they're like, nah, here's $50. We're gonna buy your face. We're gonna change your name. And do you know why it's called Uncle Ben's too? They didn't just change his name, but why they gave him the uncle prefix?
What's that?
Because this was back in the day where like things weren't as politically correct as they are now, I guess, what is how you'd say it. So they weren't gonna give Frank any authoritative name like Sir or Mr. or anything that would make you think highly of him. But they thought Uncle is like just wholesome enough they can advertise it. And like,
wow, that's actually crazy, man. Whoa, I did not know that.
That's the point, man. I fucking tell every customer who buys that. I tell him, I'm like, this man, his name is Frank. Drop respect on his name. He deserves so much more.
Hey, respect for Frank, man. Hashtag respect for Frank. Come on, let's get it going.
But man, if you think about it, like, Frank is a symbol. Frank is all of us. Because I was thinking it, like, all of us. We do so much work. We sell ourselves to people who have enough money that they could give us more, but they don't. So Frank is the face of everybody. There's a reason he was the face they used, but they should have gave him more for it, man. He deserved it.
I like that. No, I see that. He represents us all. He represents like a sense of humble, and like, you know, he just got completely fucked for it, just like the rest of us every day of our lives, slaving away at our jobs, at a factory or a store or a restaurant, getting paid peanuts, and you know, like having to miss out on certain aspects of life because of this. Like, wow, no, bro, like, bam.
That's the intention. That's why I do this show, because there's things that happen that, like, nobody talks about, but I think they should pay attention to. And like I've said, you're one of the things they should pay attention to.
Respect, man.
So, man, I was showing off your page earlier during the intro, and it's called RealEyez, and your name's Zebediah. But on Spotify, it's H.A.R.T.U.N.G. That's hard for me to remember and get in one take. But why is it like that by chance? Is there like a reason your name's Terry?
I'll tell you exactly the reason why there's so much like kind of here and there with my name. So first off, I guess I'll start off with the story of how I got my name. So my original rap name, as you would know it, being my friend, is RealEyez, like RealEyez. You know this, right?
That fucking blew my mind. I was like, yo, that is deep shit. With a name like that, you know he's got some shit to say.
Hell yeah, bro. That was the intention too. But the story behind that was, this was like way back when I first started rapping. I was working at another factory. I was working right next to my buddy, Dan MacArthur. Shout out, homie. He was the one that gave me the name, actually. So we're just working away, and I just started the rap music. And it was just like, well, have you come up with a name yet? And I'm like, no, I actually haven't, dog. And he's like, well, by the end of this quarter, and a quarter was 2 hours, we're going to have a rap name for you. I'm like, all right. So we started spitting a bunch of names around, like Renegade or Universal or just like a bunch of shit. None of it was really resonating with me. And then he just looks at me. He's like, bro, RealEyez, but like RealEyez. And I'm like, hey, I like this. You're blowing my mind here. You're blowing my mind. Oh, hell yeah. And then another thing, so that's the story of RealEyez. And then I have another name called Reyez, which is basically the short form of RealEyez, R-Eyes, right?
That's clever linkture.
Oh, hell yeah.
Is linkture a word?
Time, sorry?
Is linkture even a word?
I'll have to look that one up. You know, like,
it's a nice connection. It's a nice connection, bro. Keep going.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah. But how I got the nickname Reyez, R-Eyes, I didn't actually create that one either. It was also given to me. So when I was working at Royal King, the company I was telling you about before, when I was in the back of the storage container and Boxer came up and shined the lights on me and I'm spitting in the back of the storage container, I think it was the same day. He just came whipping around on the forklift. He's like, yo, I got another name for you. I was like, what's that? He's like, Reyez, you know, like RealEyez, like the short form of RealEyez. I'm like, bro, that's fire, bro. So I was like, hell yeah. So there's RealEyez, there's Reyez, and then there's H.A.R.T.U.N.G. H.A.R.T.U.N.G is my last name, my real last name. And essentially the reason why I changed my name on Spotify and all other platforms to H.A.R.T.U.N.G as opposed to RealEyez or Reyez is because there are already a couple other RealEyezes out there. Now keep in mind, all of these other RealEyezes are not actually anywhere near mainstream or big in any way, but basically I wanted to be something authentic, and I didn't want to have to compete. Yeah, right? Like I didn't want to have to compete with all these other RealEyezes to become the most relevant in the game. So I decided that RealEyez and Reyez are still my nicknames, but I decided to go with H.A.R.T.U.N.G because not only is it my real last name, but I like the stigma behind it. It's like I speak from the heart and I project it throughout the tongue. You know what I'm saying?
That's clever. I really like clever stuff, like Marvel movies. I'm really a big fan of Marvel, and everything I try to do with my work, I like to connect. So seeing you make connections like that, it's really dope and really mind-blowing. It makes people wonder about your bars, or at least it should. It better.
Respect, man. Respect. That's definitely what I try and do. And everything I do with my music and with my career, none of it's really coincidence. It's all, everything I put in there is there for a reason. Whether it be a big reason or a small reason, I like to drop bombs within my music and make things that make you think. And all the way up to my name. You know what I mean?
Whoa, man. We relate on such a frequency. That's why, like, when you sat behind me in that class, I was like, this guy, he's my best friend now, and we're going places, and we're gonna talk. He's a good guy. I want to know him.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
But, like, I try and do that, too. Everything I do. Like, my first piece of merch was a turtle crossing sign. And, like, that's because it's a sign to look for crossing turtles. And my name is PxnkTxrtle, and I am beginning to come. So it was the first piece of merch. And, like, just little things like that. I put tiny detail into everything. So that even if they don't know, I know, and I feel cool about it, I'm like, damn, you pulled some deep shit. And even if people don't realize it, the people that do, like, nice, congrats to you.
Hell yeah. You know what's funny? I actually didn't notice that. The crossing turtle sign. How did I miss that? God damn, you just blew my fucking mind. I didn't actually notice that for some reason. I did love that merch though. I still gotta pick up one of them shirts, bro. Save me a white one or a black one, because as you can see, I always wear white or black. Or
yeah,
gray.
man, I got you.
Hell
and the
yeah.
white ones and the black ones are the cheapest. Throwing $20, man.
Hell yeah. I love the tie-dye ones, but again, I don't wear a lot of colors personally. I'm typically a more bland color kind of guy. So
man.
Oh, so cool, man.
Wait till my sweaters get back and I get some more reverse dyes, because those I think you might like. Like, you can dull the colors on those. It's black as the base and still void. It's pretty nice. You might be able to pull those off. You like them.
Nice, bro. Nice. Well, you're a stylist, right? You know about fashion. You'll have to link me up. You'll have to dress me up and tailor me, bro.
Oh,
you have
man.
to see what I look good in.
I fucking, all throughout high school and, like, throughout my whole life, even now, I was like, man, I want to be that stylist, because, like, I like looking good, and I think I have a good idea of what looks good on other people, which is why I make clothes, because I want to, like, help people look good. So, like, I am so down to be your stylist, bro. Hit me up.
Hell yeah, man. Lord knows I need it. I've had girls tell me, like, you need to really up your shit, bro. Like, not that I talk to a lot of women nowadays, especially with this COVID shit going on, but, like, fucking, I've had, you need to get with the trends, yo. You need to get with the, because, like, just a year ago, I hadn't done a wardrobe upgrade, like, ever in my entire life. I was wearing hand-me-downs, baggy-ass jeans, baggy sweaters, and this girl I knew, she looks at me, she's like, you look like you walked right out of the fucking 90s and just kept that shit going. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
See,
what's
like,
wrong with that?
See, like,
she's like, the 90s, 30 years ago. I'm like, shit. Like,
I get a lot of 90s like callbacks. People are like, oh, you're wearing denim jackets, because that's like my trademark. I have 2 signature PxnkTxrtle denim jackets. Denim's like my thing. I love it. But like,
I love denim,
it's
bro. I got a denim jacket.
Fucking nice. I try to get one to match each outfit, and like the dream is to get shoes for every outfit. That would be nice. I can pull off my entire outfit whenever I want and color coordinate everything, like I do with my hand and my hair and my nail, because my favorite color is purple.
Hell yeah.
So man, what were your inspirations musically?
Oh, musically. So, are we talking like my idols, or are we talking what gives me inspiration?
I want to know both, because I really like understanding how your mind works and want to know your process. Because I know what I think, I know what my inspirations are, and what I do, but I want to know about you.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll start with my idols. So when I was starting the music shit, and I first started writing and all this shit like 3 years ago, I realized that I needed to study. RealEyez.
Your name, yeah.
Oh hell yeah! But I realized that I'm gonna have to study some people that have already made it in this game that are doing really well. So I decided to study my favorite artists. Now, if I were to, in terms of hip-hop, because I honestly couldn't tell you who's my favorite artist, but I will tell you my 3 greatest influences in the terms of hip-hop. And that would be Mac Miller, Logic, and Kendrick Lamar. Mac Miller, because he was just like this antisocial, anxiety-riddled white boy, just like me, you know, like, and he just had such a strong passion for music. Like, that's all he did. He wasn't gangster. He wasn't trying to be something he wasn't. He just made music that he loved. And in terms of me, and I'm sure you as well, me living with anxiety and a lot of other mental health issues.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's rough, bro. I get it.
Yeah, man. And like, just Mac Millie, he really related. I really related to his story, you know, like, and just his music in general. Like, even his latest album, Circles. My God, man. Oh my God. I still have that shit on my rotation.
Oh man.
Then,
well, hold up. While we were still on Mac Miller, because I have a tendency to like forget. But like, the song "Good News," that shit fucks me up. Cause like, bro, it was released after his suicide. So like, you listen to it, and it's about like good news, and like, it's such a powerful song. But like, he wrote that and still killed himself.
Yeah, man. Like, oh,
fucks me up.
And then, have you heard "Floating" on his deluxe album that was just released?
Oh no, not even.
Oh, dude, you gotta check it out. So I can finally get away. So I can finally get away. Like, I'm paraphrasing it. It doesn't sound quite like that. That's my own spin off of it. But I related so heavy to it. It's like, because I'm an extroverted introvert. It's strange. Like, I can be a very talkative person, but at the same time, I can be the loudest person in the room. I could also be the quietest, and you wouldn't even know I'm there. You know, it all depends. It's because of all this fuckery going on up here. And that shit just related to me so heavy, because I was like, yo, like, fucking, I feel like I just want to get away a lot of the times when I'm out and about, or when I'm with family or friends even. I just feel like I need to get away and get back to my headphones and retreat, you know? But anyway, sorry, we kind of went off a tangent, but that's all right. So there's Mac Miller, there's Logic, and Kendrick Lamar. Now, in terms of Logic, why he inspires me is, well, first, undeniably an amazing flow, such a good speed artist, and also he's got an amazing message about equality for all. You know, like, he's had his own struggles with being an interracial white man, you know, like, and growing up, people were calling him the N-word, or his mother was calling him the N-word, but everybody else was saying, you white, man, like, what are you trying to do? You trying to rap? And he went through so much shit to be able to spread his message and his work ethic, his drive. Like, I've watched documentaries on Logic, and I'm just like, bro, like, you have to respect that. You have to respect that level of work ethic.
So my comment on Logic is like, I don't know him much. I know of him. He sounds like a really good guy. I checked out his song Black Spider-Man because like I really like Spider-Man. I have Spider-Man socks on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I checked out that song and like he seems good. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll listen to him more. But like,
Yeah.
everything you talked about makes him sound really cool and like he's a good guy. Cause like, look at me. I'm so pale. I almost blend in with like my wall over here. But like, can you believe my stepdad, who was another middle-aged white man, unironically called me that? Said I was one.
Really?
Yeah. His explanation was it's not skin color that makes you one. It's disrespectful person. And like, that's what he told me. So like,
So to a degree, you went through your own kind of oppression, like almost similar to what Logic went through.
yeah, exactly. Like right now, I find the major problem is like sexism. I don't really need to deal with race. Although, if we're talking about race, if we're going to race, like, I am native, I'm part native, and like, I've had other natives like disregard me because I don't have my status cards yet. They're like, oh, you're not real native, you're Métis, you're like half blood, you don't count. But like,
Right.
I'm trying to get my card, see if I can get my card, do something about that. But like, I am, so I still feel it bit. It doesn't hurt me much because I'm like a turtle, hence my name, and I got a shell that protects me from all this, and I don't care about much.
There you go, man. There you go, for real.
But sexism is a really big thing. Systemic sexism. Now,
I hear this. I definitely feel this, man.
are you down to share a few examples? So like,
Sure.
I applied to R.T.U.N.G, right? Because I was like, yo, I like clothes. This place sells clothes. I know what looks good on people. I can tell if a girl has a nice outfit. Let me sell these clothes. They didn't even look at my interview. They didn't interview me. They didn't look at my resume. So I feel like that was sexist. My first job.
Yeah, I know.
My first job was at Plato's Closet. And I'll name drop them because I don't work for them more. I don't really like them. But they did inspire me, honestly. I'll give them that. I'll explain that. But I was the only guy who worked there. And when the minimum wage hike went up, I was the first to go. Even though there were newer girls that they brought on after me, I was the first to go. So I feel like that was a little sexist there. But getting back to how they inspired me, once they let me go, I was like, this place, man, I'm gonna do what they do, but better, So that like pushed me into doing my clothes in my full span. Like at the end of everything, I want to be able to like have a store where people can come in, because interaction's important once this quarantine's all done with. But I love interacting with people, so I want to give the environment. And I want to have a store where I can sell my stuff, but I'll also buy in other people's clothes. I won't take donations, I'll buy them to give them money and compensate them. And then I'll spruce them up, punk them up a bit. I can resell them at a reasonable price, and I can also sell other artists' work. I can sell other artists' merch. I can sell other artists' EPs and soundtracks. I can sell their albums. I can sell, like, I can just be a community. That's what I want to build.
I like the sound of that, man. Like a record and merch store with your own punk turtle twist. I actually like that, man. That's a really cool concept.
Yeah,
for real, though.
Yeah, man, I told you, everything I do is connected. So all my plans are all intertwined and they go deep.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Let me tell you something. This is something that not a lot of people know. But I've got a huge storyline. Like, people don't know. I'm already 4 albums ahead, eh? I've already got the
Nice.
storylines down. I've got the writtens down. Like it's not like I still need to like do some finer details here and there. But what people don't know is that I got a very long and intricate storyline developed. And by the end of my career, it'll all be, everybody will see it. And like like there's actually the one sample I sent you, the intro on Oblivion. That is a very, very, very key aspect to the storyline. It's extraordinarily important.
I got that entirely.
Oh yeah, buddy, and it's foreshadowing at its greatest. I'm literally foreshadowing my entire I can't even say that word. My entire career.
Discography.
Yeah. I can never say that word. I don't know why. But I'm literally foreshadowing my entire discography.
Oh man, want to hear another tongue twister real quick, and then you can continue your story. But
yeah.
How much pop could pop punk if pop punk could punk pop? Boom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy, bro. I don't think I could do that one. And tongue twisters are my career, bro. Like.
Yeah. I was in high school and everybody was doing the woodchuck chuck stuff, and it was like, man, I want to do a pop punk one. So like I crafted that one and like I came up with it. But back to your story, man. Yeah. Back to your story. Tongue twisters aside.
I was basically finished there. Basically, with Oblivion, there's some serious foreshadowing going on in that album. Even the album cover itself is some serious foreshadowing. And I'm not going to mention. If we the next time we meet up in person, I'll tell you more of the story, so you get an inside look before anybody else. But there's a huge storyline coming up, and it'll be revealed over the next several years. This is not just like a year-long thing. This is like my entire career has been basically laid out in a general direction, and people will see that by the end of it. But I believe we were talking about inspiration and idols.
Yeah, you were on number 3. You just covered Logic.
Right. So Mac Miller, Logic, and then Kendrick Lamar. Now, Kendrick Lamar, I've always loved his philosophy. His philosophy is just so incredibly dope. Like, and not only that, but he makes it sound so dope. Like, and here's 3 key factors, or here's one key factor with all 3 of these artists. What they did was they made music that not only sounds good, but has a real message. See, a lot of music nowadays is strictly based off of vibe. A lot of people don't really care about lyricism. At least not everybody, but a lot of people, they more so focus on the vibe and the sound of the song. It doesn't even matter what these people are saying half the time.
One sec, but on that point, that's when people like you just pull a double whammy and do both. I love that. Continue what you were saying.
Oh hell yeah, man! And that's basically what these 3 artists have so in common. At least in my perspective of them, they all made such real music that sounded so good. Like Kendrick with his philosophy, Logic with his flow and his delivery and his message, Mac Miller with just how relatable he was, and like to me and to a lot of other people like me or you with anxiety and very antisocial individuals, like all of these people just they got the formula right, you know what I mean? And that's what I took from them, and I've been trying to incorporate into my own music. Like I've actually had a couple of people, more than a few people, tell me they can definitely tell the Kendrick Lamar like influence within my music.
You can even like hear as far as the rap voice, like not to like pull comparisons of like thin air or like say you're not doing your own, but like you can feel the influence and you can clearly see the inspiration.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
My opinion on Kendrick is, the one song, Syrup Sandwiches and Crime Allowances, that song, that like really mainstream song, yeah, that song is one of the songs where I like taught myself how to spit it, and I learned all the words because like it was that good. I've done that with Love Artist, I've done it with Jaden Smith songs, I've done it with Childish Gambino songs. I did for Gambino for a whole summer. Like, when you're really good, I know this, and like I try to emulate that. It's incredible.
And I like that about you. You definitely listen to lyrics. Like the samples I sent you, you explicitly told me exactly what caught your eye, or ear, I should say.
Yeah.
And, you know, like some people, well, like I said, a lot of people aren't interested in lyrics nowadays. They're interested in sound and vibe. So that's the formula I've been trying to develop and master, is basically mastering vibe and sound, but throw a real twist on it with some real lyrics. You know what I mean? And just like put them together like these other three artists have. And a lot of other artists have done the same thing. But let's be real here. The music industry's kind of in shambles with a lot of the fuckery going on, you know? Like,
man,
but,
so know how you said that, like, it caught my eye and then you corrected yourself the ear? But, like, consider, like, when a song really vibes, when it's there and you, like, feel it, you can, like, it has all your senses, man. Like, sometimes I'll be listening to a song, and you know when you have those speakers that show the music and it has the little bars that go up and down like my recordings do? I see that sometimes. Like, if I really feel it, I see it, I hear it, I'm inside the music.
I like that. I like that. No, I definitely like what you said there. It almost like gets all of your senses going when you really feel it and you submerge yourself into that piece, you know? Like, I definitely like that, because it almost, sometimes, I'm sure you feel this way, sometimes when I listen to music, I feel like I'm not even here. I feel like I'm there, wherever there is. You know what I mean? Like,
I do that with all piece of art that I submerge myself to. Quick story one time, because I'm all about these stories, man. I'm going to get a tattoo. Here's another story. I'm going to get a tattoo. I don't know where, but it's going to be like a little storybook or something and a quill, because I fancy myself a storyteller. That's what I like to do. It's my thing.
I like to do it too, bro. I love it.
But anyways, this one time I was in elementary school, and I was on the school bus going home, and I was reading a book. Like, I was inside the book. I was like in the book. The world didn't exist. And then the bus driver goes, "You're still on the bus?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "We're at my house, man. We totally missed your stop. I didn't see you." And they had to drive me back to drop me off at my bus stop. And my mom was over it and stuff. I was like, I was reading a book. So my mom tried to tell me not to read books on like public transit. She was like, don't read books on the bus. It's bad for you. You'll get trapped.
That's wild that you say that too, because you know what I watched a movie last night called Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
But he actually did the same thing. He read an entire book on the bus, and all the way till it was back at the bus terminal. You know, so I don't know. Sorry, weird random connection, but like fucking, like I said, I was watching a movie last night, and just that directly correlated to that.
There's a book series called H.A.R.T.U.N.G about an artist who like writes, but whatever he writes comes real, and like he can go into books and stuff, and like, oh, I just love that so much. My favorite thing is creating, and that'd be the best thing if you could just create what you want.
Oh hell yeah, man! Hell yeah.
As like a superpower. If that was a superpower and you could just materialize whatever, you would be the most overpowered ever.
Oh yeah, man! The most that's like God mode of all artists. If you could do that, you know what I mean? Like, wow, just write something down and it instantly comes to fruition and literally alive in front of your eyes. That'd be wild as hell.
But like also, that's energy, man. Like, if you have your intent into something, you can, like, will it. Just work hard, and you can make it happen. And that's what you're doing. And
that's what I'm trying to do, man, definitely.
I told you how my mom's fiance was listening to the song in the garage with me. Did I mention that?
Yeah.
Well, he called it trash, and that irked me. But there got to a part where you didn't want the like really weird music things that just really grab you. And it was like, hey. And then you did that comrade line. It was like, wait, play that back. So I played it back like 3 times. And he actually listened to your lyrics as you're supposed to and paid attention. And it was like, damn.
Oh, the contraband line. The contraband line?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Fucking, fuck, how did that line go? It's like, in turn, complacency turns human race into contraband.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That line came up, and that's what made him realize that you were spin bars. So he wanted me to replay it. We replayed that part several times. And then we replayed it from the start. And he loved that shit too. And you do the noise thing several times, leads into a flow switch. And those are great. Your song is about like another world, and like you get that, you feel that, you take the listener to another world in the song. And that's what I got from that. And that's what my mom's fiance got from that. You turned a hater to a believer real quick.
Bam! That means I'm doing something right. I'm happy to hear that,
bro. For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, and a lot. So people that are watching this interview, unless the album's already come out, the track we're referencing is "What We Were."
Nah, man. This interview, they're gonna see it before the album, because I'm pushing this out fast. Being an essential worker, I don't really have like an upload schedule I can stick to, so I'm just trying to keep pushing content, bro. And artists
I feel you, man. I feel you.
And things that I think should have your attention, I'll give the attention towards people as soon as possible, so they'll know about you and they'll be able to listen to your album when it releases. Hell
yeah. Well, the story behind that particular track, and if people are tuning in after the album is released, go check it out. What We Were, 4/20/2020, hit it up, baby. The beginning of that track, you know how it starts off with that nobody cares bit. So kind of what got me going with that was it's
the recording again. So it's just go continue from where it was. Go be some more flawless transitions that I didn't even intend for. But anyways, what were you saying? You were talking about the beginning of the song, how it goes, nobody cares, and what got you to say that?
Right. So the creation process of that track. So basically, nobody cares. That whole hook in the very beginning was actually a song that was on my first ever mixtape that I dropped 2 years ago, the 1-year anniversary that my little brother passed away. And essentially, I always wanted to redo that track, because my first album, I had no concept of sound engineering or mixing and mastering vocals, and it just sounded like shit. Like, you know, everybody's first piece. Right? Everybody's first piece, it doesn't pan out, you know, like, you know, it takes a long,
hold up. I'm gonna plug myself, because I do that a lot, just as I plug you, but speaking of shit beats, my first shit beat is on SoundCloud, PxnkTxrtle, can check it out. I'm gonna get better from there. The point is, though, because like I said, everything is intentional. So I released a beat that a lot of people are gonna say is trash, but then when I release something better, they're gonna be like, how the fuck did this guy go from point A to point C? Because they don't see that it really A to B. It's not that big a jump. It was intentional.
Oh yeah. No, I feel you, man. Like, and it shows the growth. It shows the growth that you have. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You know, like fucking, it's a long journey, and it's taken. I've been doing this for over 3 years now, and I'm only just starting to record a slightly decent product. You know what I mean? Like a fucking, in terms of sound quality and delivery and all these other things, it takes a minute, you know. And like, there are times where I'm like, fuck, I wish I started earlier, because, you know, like, I was 21 when I started, right? And like,
man, for real, I see artists like RealEyez and like other people, and like they're really dope, and I love a lot of these artists, but like, can't help but feel like a part of me feels like I'm a failure because I didn't get there yet. Like, they're doing stuff that I wish I did, and good on them, but I'm gonna try my hardest to do what I can now.
I feel you, dude. Like, I can't tell you how often I think about that. Because, you know, like, you got, well, Logic and Mac Miller and Kendrick Lamar, they all started early. They started in their preteens, teenage years, and by the time they were 21, they were, like, on a professional level. You know, by the time I was 21, that's when I first started doing the music, you know? So, it's like I say, my good friend Tyrone Babakani, whom of which I actually live with, and he was a key player in everything that I've done with this music, including building this studio. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have even had this all put together.
Oh,
Shout
man.
out to him.
Bless that man.
Blessed, bro. Blessed. I'll have to get him in for an interview with you as well. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like,
sure. That'll be
Hell
dope,
yeah.
bro. Looking forward
Hell
to
yeah,
it.
bro. Oh, you want to know a little story? You want to know the story?
Always, bro.
We'll come back to the creation of what they see what we were fucking. But anyway, so when I started building the studio, fucking. Have you ever played the game Warframe?
No.
Or have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, yes, but I haven't played it.
Right. Well, anybody watching this, if you haven't played Warframe, go play it. Go show some support for your boy. It's free on all platforms.
Bro,
Xbox.
Bro,
Yeah?
This is unsponsored. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows who you are yet. They should pay attention, but I just want to say, this is unsponsored, so this game must be pretty good if Zeb's just talking about it. Okay,
Oh yeah.
go on.
Oh yeah. See, I don't game very terribly too much. I still pick up the controller every now and again, play around as zombies or some shit. But anyway, so the homie, he works at the company that makes Warframe, and basically what we started doing when I got my job at another factory, and I started saving up to get all of this beautiful equipment you see in this interview. What he did was he went to the sound team and he asked them, "Hey man, I got a friend that's doing this music shit. You know, like he's trying to build a studio. What would you recommend for him to get?" And essentially, when I was building the studio, I got first-hand advice from professional sound engineers.
Nice.
Yeah, from a globally known video game company. Firsthand, and bam, like that's how I got my insight on all of this stuff. And not only that, but my friend Tyrone, he's a very, very tech savvy kind of individual. So he helped me set up this whole thing. He helped me get all of the information I need. Like, oh, nothing but love for the homie. But that's the story of how I built the studio.
I love having friends like that. My boy Randy, he's like that. My boy Dylan, my boy Giz, you're like that. And just, I love good friends, man. They get you through.
Yeah, man.
They get you through times when you need them.
You gotta have people around you, man. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh fuck, man, I did this all on my own," you know, like fucking. And I honestly, I fucking really, really honestly think that that's a load of shit. Everybody's had help from somebody at some point in their career. Some people had more help than others, but you gotta have a team. You can't do it all on your own, man. There's so much going on when you're doing anything with creation and trying to develop a career and a name for yourself.
For real.
Yeah, man, like you need people on your side. You need people advocating for you. And at the end of the day, people are what going to make you big. They're the ones that are going to make you something. And you need to be able to connect with these people.
That is exactly why I try to build my platform, because I want people to give attention to things that I think should have attention, because I know that the people have all the power. And like,
exactly,
this video right now is on my laptop, and the laptop is where I do everything on now that I got it. And like, I do make everything myself, and like my designs are my own, well, the PxnkTxrtle logo and the name and everything. But I've started paying artists for their commissions so I can expose their art And if I make money, maybe I give them more money and we talk about that, because they deserve the proper compensation. I'll release those, but I just want to make sure that I have stuff in the vault, because I already have a few originals before I get to those. And then... Oh, you lagging?
Huh?
Your screen's lagging.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, it lagged a bit. But you're better now, you're better now. Yeah. What were you trying to say?
Oh, that was basically it. Just the building of the studio. Oh my God, we keep bouncing like lotto balls. So
that is the intention.
Exactly, right? Well, really, we're just sitting here kind of shooting the shit. I mean, and honestly, I like this authenticity better than a formal interview. By the way, this is the first interview with your boy H.A.R.T.U.N.G/RealEyez on PxnkTxrtle, the very first interview I've done for the music. You're seeing it here, motherfuckers. Tune in. But we're gonna go back to the creation of what we were. Now, again, when the song is released, anybody watching, you can come back and reference this. But essentially, the first bit was from a track on my first album.
Hold up, real quick, because your screen lagged and didn't fully finish my thought. I just want to shout out my designer, H.A.R.T.U.N.G. She is the one. Like, they were my images, I came up with them. But I buy the shirts and she prints the design on the front. So, like, I want to give her credit and just say that, like, yeah, I'm trying to do this on my own, but you need to make connections, and I'm always making connections, and I'm always happy to work with people and compensate them how they should be. Because everybody deserves what they deserve.
Give credit where it's due, man. Give credit where it's due. I feel you, man. I feel you. You gotta.
Okay, now back to what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. So the Nobody Cares joint for my first piece, and then when it kind of goes down like, and then comes back up, it almost, like you were saying, it almost takes you to another world. And I did that intentionally. And I almost like to think that it was like I was being hurled through space, and like then I say a prayer and then bam. And then it's almost like I'm being hurled towards a black hole. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Whoa.
Yeah. When you listen to that track, envision that the next time. So when the Nobody Cares hook goes, imagine somebody on the ground sitting in a chair smoking a cigarette like nobody fucking cares, like just sulking.
And I was already on that vibe, man. Picking up vibes is like my superpower. Keep talking about superpowers. Later I'll ask you what your favorite superpowers are. But we're trying to stay somewhat on course. But anyways, like, I pick up vibes really well, and I got everything you're saying, man. Just, I hope everybody else gets this. It's so intricate.
And I did that on purpose. I love manipulating. See, I've only made one beat ever in my career, and that's actually going to appear on Oblivion. Because producing is a totally different level of ball field we're talking about here. But what I love to do is manipulate sounds. So I'll take a beat that's already been made that I've purchased legally, and I will like manipulate that sound to a degree to create an audible scene that you can envision in your mind and put yourself in. But again, we're going back after it goes down and then comes back up. It's like I'm flying through space, and then the big boom happens, and all of a sudden it's like being hurled towards a black hole. And you know how there are theories on how black holes can have a key factor in time travel and this and that. And that's
again scientific, man. Quantum theory. I've fallen down that hole so many times. I can just talk about that stuff. So keep saying what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. I love astronomy. I think it's fascinating and also terrifying at the same time. And that was definitely the kind of vibe I was trying to go for with that. And it almost, the song almost takes you on a journey, and then the beat just kind of comes in. And, like, you hear little children in the background very seldomly. And then, like, the song goes on. And as you already know, it talks about, like, many different things, which I'm not going to get into. People can check it out when it's released on 420. But you already know it's very deep
every
concept.
time.
I hope all y'all be smoking weed, and I hope it makes you fucking think on 420, yo.
So, man, talking about beats, I know you said they can, like, check it out when you release it on 420, but do you want to hear a sneak of my beats, and we can talk beats, and then maybe you can show a clip of yours to the audience? You can spit
Sounds
something?
good to me.
Okay,
Sounds
well,
good to me, my brother.
this is a bit of what I'm working on, again, by myself.
Ooh, that's good, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, so that's just a sneak of what I'm working on now. I told you, like, if people want to say my first beat's bad, that's okay. Like, I was just playing with the program for the first time, but I'm working on stuff. Now,
I feel you, man.
do you have anything you could show the audience? A little,
I've got,
clip I could react to?
Yeah, I got a little something I can, well, let's see here.
This is
I
a
got a little
music break.
a music break. Now this is a little snippet, a sneak peek preview that you are only hearing on PxnkTxrtle right now. And you won't hear it anywhere else until it's released. So better tune in now. Bam! Alright. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
A simple song I came from place, a simple change that I had made. I had my wrongs if I could
That
stop
clap.
all the things I didn't say. It's been so long, you'll fade away. Is this the end? I scream for days. Never learned to turn my back from all the things that I once had. Never learned to let it go. Never learned to let it show. Never learned to turn my back from all the things that come to pass. Never learned to let it go. Never learned to let it show.
Bam! And the rest you'll have to hear on 4/20/2020, motherfuckers.
Oh,
Bye.
man, see, that's what I mean. Like, if you listen to the lyrics, like, that stuff's relatable as hell. And it makes me feel, I know what you're going through. I can understand that.
Just pouring heart and soul into this art, you know, and like that's really what art is. It's the heart and soul of mankind, you know. Like I love it. Honestly, it's so real, man. Like fucking, and honestly, I think art is one of the most important things that define us as human beings. You know, like
For sure.
I don't know. That's just yeah.
I've go to a lot of shows, right? And every show I go to, I talk to the artists and the musicians, and talk to like big people, and talk to little people, and just like branching out there, talking to rappers, DMing them on Instagram, getting them on Facebook. They recognize me when I see them at other shows, and just like building this network, because it's just so dope. And seeing people do this is one of the things that inspires me. You, my friend, are one of the inspirations, because I see you doing this and see other people doing this, and like, it's really possible. You can do this.
It's hard work. That's what it is. It's hard work and dedication. That's what it is. If you really believe in yourself and your dream, then that's all you need, and you just need to keep going. You need to keep pushing, man. Like, and you're gonna deal with a lot of roadblocks. Like, these are roadblocks I deal with on the daily. Like, one day I'll record a track and I think it's amazing. The next day I think it's trash. You know, like it's a hard. road,
I feel.
Right. Like, fucking, it's a hard road to deal with, and like, art is subjective, and typically you're gonna be your own worst critic. That's another reason why you need to have people around you.
Bro, that is a bar they have written down, because I have a cache of lyrics, and it's one about me being my biggest critic, and that's a bar that I have then go put on track, because it's so true. And
It is.
the thing about art, what helps push me through this is, it is subjective, that's right. And there's lots of musicians and artists like Nickelback, for example, or 6ix9ine as another example, or Imagine Dragons is the newest hate type train, but like, these guys still are making it. They're still selling shows, they still have listeners, so like, you're pretty insignificant to think that you're the only person who has the same music taste you do. So if one person likes something, other people are gonna like it. And that's just the way it goes.
Exactly, man. And you're not gonna please everybody. You're gonna get haters. You're gonna come face to face with people that have nothing better going on in their lives but trash talking people that are actually got something going for them. You know, like, and being people that are trying to break into the entertainment industry, such as me and you, we have to consciously be aware of that. And I like to call it the deflector shield. Whenever I go into a situation where I feel like I'm going to be uncomfortable, I throw on the deflector shield. And whatever people say, it just bounces off, you know, like, it's just whatever, right?
Turtle shell.
Yeah, bro. Shields up, bro.
Fucking... But yeah, that's what I want to do. I just want to, like, give exposure to artists. And just, the idea is to make a beat and make music that gives people the chills. Because real good music does that to me. And your music is one of those musics that does it. Actually,
hey, mad love, man. That means I'm doing something right. That's the goal. Make something that people can really feel and relate to and give them goosebumps and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, hit your head.
Got my head on my microphone.
it didn't even make a noise though, so it's whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have the mic set up for the interview. It's just kind of here just to kind of show off to people.
The aesthetic, man. The professional aesthetic. We're trying to make it out here.
Hell yeah, bro. Got my little brother's urn right here. All of my family members, we all got a little bit of his ashes in an urn, and I keep it right here in the studio, right under my computer monitor. Always have them with me when I'm recording, you know what I'm saying? That's some real shit.
For sure. So,
man,
a little change of pace. But if you had superpowers, I know I mentioned this earlier, see? That was an Easter egg, if viewers call it. It was mentioned earlier, and now it's coming out. But if you had superpowers, what would they be? Like, what's your number one superpower? And if you could have a pair of superpowers, what would they be?
Shit. You know, I've never actually put that much thought into it. Like, fuck.
That's the point. We talk about things that you should pay attention to, and we just think about stuff that you don't think about.
Exactly, bro. Well, I think I would have to go with time travel. And it's a controversial one, right? Because
it fucks with my head.
I know, right? I know. And honestly, when Oblivion comes out, you'll see why I mentioned time travel.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I got that from the sample, so I know. Yeah. But the viewers are gonna find out. So watch this, be one of those viewers, and you can find out.
Hell yeah, bro. And then I guess if we were to put a top three, I think I'd probably go like invisibility or like mind reading, I guess. Like
yeah, my two powers, if I had them, the ultimate powers, is invisibility and mind reading, because it's a power duo. Because nobody sees you, okay? You can read their thoughts, and they don't see you're there. So they're not going to like try and mask their thoughts. So you get pure, unfiltered thoughts if you're invisible and can remind. So I like this interview. It's pure, unfiltered thoughts.
Exactly. Unscripted. I love it.
In in the intro of this video, I mentioned how punk is more than just a genre, don't you know? Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Because punk...
Oh, yeah, it's a way of life. It's a mentality. It's like, man,
Exactly! It's a
yeah, bro.
mindset
Like,
and a mentality. Punk is
yeah,
about
bro.
standing up for something and believing
Yeah,
something,
bro.
making a difference, and not taking shit. That's why you're certified
Exactly,
punk.
bro.
That's why this is the PxnkTxrtle show. And why I
Mm-hmm.
do what I do.
In relations to punk music, bro, you want to know the first album I ever got?
What was
Green
it?
Day, American Idiot.
Nice, nice.
First album. I was 10 years old. My mom picked it up for me on Easter, and punk music was actually the first genre I ever really got into. So there you go, man. Punk Turtle. Fucking right, bro.
The first album I ever got was really wholesome. It was The Good, The Bad, and The Better, I think
Mm-hmm.
is the name of it. It's by the Reyez, and they're like not they're not what I listen to. They're not my usual like intense stuff. It's just really
Mm-hmm.
wholesome, and they're my happy music. They just
Mm-hmm.
make me feel happy when I listen to them. They have
Hell
that
yeah,
power
bro.
over me. So they were my
Yeah.
first album. But yeah,
Oh, hell yeah.
growing up, I had my stepdad who listened to like old school gangster rap and stuff. Also like
Oh, yeah.
Metallica and Limp Bizkit and new metal and like heavier stuff. And then my mom
Yeah.
listened to like Offspring and like punk and like, so I was really influenced growing up music
Mm-hmm.
wise, and it's very present in the music I listen to now. And I think
Oh,
that's a
I
really
believe it.
cool connection, the way that happens, and like you're just, what happens when you're younger is an Easter
Mm-hmm.
egg for how you're going to be when you're older. Like Tony
Mm-hmm.
Hawk's soundtracks. Tony Hawk had a fire soundtrack, and I just played that game as a kid, not playing it for the, uh, not playing it for the music, but like
Mm-hmm.
grown up.
It just had such dope soundtrack. Dude, I think all the
Exactly.
movies that ever have been released, I think the dopest soundtracks that I ever seen was all of the Tony Hawk games. I swear to God, do you know how many Tony Hawk games where I actually went into the playlist like settings and I looked
And
up
like
that
safe
song and I
though,
still
yeah.
listen to this day, to this day? Yeah, bro, for real.
Saints Row also had a pretty good soundtrack. The Saints Row games have a lot of songs that like
Oh
after years
yeah.
went by, I went back and was like, hey, this is where I first heard that song I have on my playlist. And it's
Hmm.
just like,
Right.
you gotta pay attention.
Yeah, man. Have you noticed that video games don't do dope soundtracks no more? Not like they used to?
Yeah, no, they don't really much, but
Yeah.
my favorite game series, like Devil May Cry, and they have an
Mhm.
amazing soundtrack, including the
Not
remake.
bad.
Not much people like the
Yeah.
remake, but the remake had a good soundtrack, and I vibed with it. I liked it. It was like
Nice.
cringy, yes, because the creator
Mhm.
made it as like the ultimate cool fantasy for a 12-year-old, like what they thought would
Okay,
be
yeah, yeah.
cool. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
intentionally over the top, and I just love that. I love when people just enjoy themselves without any filters, because that's how you should be.
Mhm.
You shouldn't be scared to be who you are.
Exactly, man. I feel you, man. Definitely, especially in this day and age, like with social media and everything. Social media almost makes it just crippling for all of us because we're constantly comparing our worst times to somebody else's best. And it just kind of fucks with our heads, like fucking I just kind of spiraled off. But in this day and age, it's so hard to find out who people really are inside, like, and like I say, like sometimes I gotta get myself off of social media just so I'm not constantly comparing my life to others.
How are you dealing with that right now? During like the isolation, the quarantine, like what's that doing to you? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, with this COVID shit, honestly, at first. I think I was just like everybody else at first when this shit hit. I was just like, oh, like we'll be fine. It's in China, like, oh, a couple
Yeah,
cases here.
that was me. Like I was actively angry and I didn't understand why, and I was mad
Mhm,
at my concerts being postponed. I was mad at the
mhm.
people who said they should be postponed, because like it
Right.
wasn't that serious. But as time progressed and it overtook SARS as being fatal, and it's
Mhm.
getting worse. Like, I realized that I was in the wrong place. Yeah, but a lot of people were,
Mhm.
and it's just important to realize now that, like,
Mhm.
it is what it is.
I feel you, man. And in terms of dealing with the isolation, well, the funny thing is that I'm already kind of an antisocial person. So it's like
I feel.
they're almost just exposing my real life circumstances. So it's like, hey, now everybody's doing it. Now what I do, cool. But I won't lie though, it is maddening because like, every Tuesday I go to the bar, go to Chuck's with my buddy Tyrone, and like we'd have $5 Stein nights, or we'd go out to a restaurant here and there and just kind of shoot the shit. Or like even be able to go and see my friends and family. Like I don't have many friends nowadays, but I visit my family very frequently whenever I
I am your
create.
friend.
Oh, there you go. There we go. You're one of the few friends I have, my friend. But I gotta say, I think the biggest thing that's been hitting me with this whole quarantine shit is that I can't go see my family because, like, one of the biggest things that I do when I record a track or two, like some really good tracks, I like to go to my dad's where my brother and my nieces and nephews are, and have a couple of beers and like have some great dinner and just vibe with my family, show them my new music, like so I think that's the hardest thing for me in this whole quarantine thing, just not being able to being restricted to not be able to see the people that are important in my life. Other than that, not much has changed for me, like I'm still just laying out tracks and shit, right? So
Yeah, I feel that. How the quarantine and isolations impacted me. So like I said, like my concerts were postponed, which was a bummer. I was like looking forward to those because I go to a concert. I try to go every month because it gives me
hmm
something to look forward to, and it helps with
hmm
my depression because it gives me
hmm
something to look forward to in life, and that at a show is when I'm most alive. So I really look forward
right,
to those, and it
right.
hurt when those were all like postponed, and I don't have them for
Mhm.
months now.
Right. And God knows when,
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly. And then there's the fact that I can't wear out my outfits. I can't show off my outfits because I can't go to the mall. I can't go to the
mhm,
movies. Can't show anything. I can't like go to a store. Can't get new headphones or anything. I gotta order it online in order to get all the
mhm.
equipment to set up what I'm doing right now. My sweaters
Right.
were delayed, and like I don't have as much personal anxiety about this because the way I live my life, it's just like a show, and all shows end, and we're all gonna die no matter what. It happens. You
Mhm.
could die at any point. So
Yeah, man.
death doesn't really give me anxiety, but I'm scared for
Mhm.
other people, like working at this unnamed corporation. I have old customers. I have some nice old man. His name is George, and like I introduced myself to him 3 times because he kept introducing himself, and I've heard that you're not supposed to like correct that kind of thing with elderlies because it could be bad and could like send them down a spiral. So I just
Mhm.
went along with it, introduced myself 3 times, which by the way, 3 is my number. It happens everywhere. 3 is in everything. So like that's a little thing that it's really nice to notice and pick up on. But
What's funny is that three is actually my number two.
this is why we connect so much. But
Damn, dog.
another
And there's a
reason,
reason for it.
yeah.
hmm
But anyways, so George now, whenever he comes, he'll like talk to me by name. He remembers my name, calls me Andrew, tells me about his day, what he's doing, what he's buying. We have conversations. Just made me sad because like I actually broke down crying in my garage because what if George or one of my customers gets sick?
hmm
Because George is in the vulnerable and I don't even know. And that
hmm
hurts and that scares me. I
hmm
wish things will get better.
I feel you, man. And like I have the same thing with my dad. My dad's 60 years old. He's an avid smoker. Like he's been through a lot of craziness. Like he's probably lost a couple of years due to that craziness of his life. But Yeah, he's one of those high risks, and I basically had to make a decision for myself, because when this shit really started to get out of control, I was like, okay, like when martial law hits and we're officially locked down by law, if it gets to this point, where do I want to be? Do I want to be with my dad and my family, but I can't work on my music for God knows how long until this shit is done? Or do I want to be at home with my studio, but my family isn't there? And I had to make a really, I was riddled with anxiety from this decision. It was going back and forth like a bad ping pong game. You know, like it was really, really hard for me to make that decision. And it was only recently, it was like a week or two ago, where I finally decided, okay, you know what? I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't like the idea of not being able to see my family for God knows how long, but I do like the idea of being able to continue working on my music during the duration of this craziness, right? So
Yeah.
I decided, yeah, you know, so I decided I you know, I had one last visit. You know, I said goodbye to my brother and my dad and my niece and nephew, and ever since then I haven't left. You know, like I'm confined here, and again, like my dad's a high risk, so I don't want to run him the risk of coming back and forth, and then I have people living with me here that are potential high risk, and it's just wild, man. Now, in terms of coronavirus, the actual disease, bro, I'm telling you this. I believe that we will beat this disease. I really do. I mean, look at the Black Plague. The Black Plague took out millions of people during a time where a healthcare system was basically non-existent, and we still beat the disease. Mankind still came out on top of that one. We lost a lot of people, but we still came out. I believe that we will beat the disease. The thing that scares me more is the economic backlash that we are going to face after this is all done. You know what I mean? Like, companies are already going under.
For
People
sure.
are losing jobs. Yeah, like, people are losing houses. I know people personally that can't pay their fucking bills right now because they work at a specific place that has been deemed non-essential and shut down, and they are sitting there twiddling their thumbs and they can't do anything about it. And I'm just wondering, how is this like? Have you looked at the stock markets? They are crashing.
I actually saw that on the news, man. Like, they just, like, all are dropping.
Oh, just significantly. Everything's dropping. We haven't seen anything like this in fucking in a long time. You know, so I'm just curious, like, how is this all going to end? Is it going to end with riots and people fighting for their survival and robberies and violence, or is it going to end with humility and everybody gather together and help each other as human beings to get through this difficult time? And I'm rooting for the second one, but honestly, it gives me this form of anxiety. I don't know. We can't know what's going to happen in the months to come. Like, you know, like, we don't even see the light at the end of the tunnel yet. Cases just keep growing, so it's a wild time to be alive. Not just because of the disease itself, but just the reaction and the way and the ripple effect that it's having on the very life that we know today. You know, like, this is a moment in history that we are going to look back on for a long time. You know, so it's one hell of a time to be alive, man. Honestly, it really is. Can't believe we're living through this on such a year too, 2020.
Yeah.
And like, I was in New York City, December 31st.
I saw your pictures, bro. I saw
Yeah,
them.
bro. Yeah, bro. And this was only like 2 months, not even, before the coronavirus was starting to really break out. You know, and I was elbow to elbow with 2 million people. You know, like, fucking, and then just how quickly the balance can be shifted so drastically. It's honestly wild as hell, and I hope that we all reassess how we do things and how we live life and how society runs after this. I really hope that people take a look at on how this went down and really reflect and be like, how can we make this never happen again, and how can we make this work for the betterment of the people? You know what I mean?
It's surreal right now, and like I've said before, I live my life as a show. There's try and entertain the audience, and like, the world in general right now has turned into a show, and we're in an event, but there's always a end to the show. Like, it'll work out in the end. We just gotta work through this and keep going. It's tough not being able to see my boys and go over to their houses. Like, I used to do that every weekend. I'd go to Randy's, but like, it is what it is, and all I can do is sanitize, keep my family safe, and do what I can. Hope it'll get better.
And keep making content, bro. Like, take advantage of that time,
yeah,
you know, like a lot of people are, right?
Yeah, being an essential worker and working like 40 hours a week, I'm working a lot at undisclosed company, but like I work a lot and I'm not getting all this free time that other people are getting with their isolation. I call it free time because like some people get to do art and stuff, but like I'm trying to push out my content every opportunity that not work and trying to make something so I can go out there because I just really enjoy doing this.
I feel you, man, and respect to you. Because, like, bro, you're one of the people on the front lines right now having to deal with this and having to be forced to go out in public and put yourself at risk every day without a pay raise or anything like this. And on top of that, you're still trying to make content and keep creating exposure. And honestly, like, respect to you for that, man. You know, like, fucking honestly, that's some real shit, for real.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. So we got really real. So let's switch it up. And what's your favorite animal?
Oh, my favorite animal. Okay, before I go on, I'm a huge animal lover. I'll feel bad if I step on an ant. I like just living creatures in general.
As a vegetarian, I feel that like I don't kill bugs. Like if there's a spider and my mom or a girl at work is like, Andrew, kill it. Like, nah. I'm not doing that.
I feel you. The only time I would ever kill anything is if I had to, based on a survival point of view. You know what I mean? So, in terms of favorite animal, shit, I would have to say probably the wolf. I know it's such a stereotypical one, but like, there's something so majestic about the wolf, and they travel in packs and just, yeah, man, like, it's got to be the wolf or a lion.
That's true. Do you want to get your mind blown? I'm sorry if I ruin your like outlook a little bit, but did you know the Lion King, the entire movie, is a fucking lie?
Oh yeah?
Like Simba, his roar is like what caused the stampede and the whole climax, and his dad dying and everything was a result of the roar. The lions can't roar. Their roar is more like a softer, like kitty cat meow. Like it's not that big ferocious roar. The Metro Goldwyn lion that roars, that's a tiger roar that they dubbed over to make a lion, because lions don't have that kind of power.
Oh, wow. You know what? Come to think of it, yeah. Yeah, I have seen videos of tigers making that sound and not lions. Wow, you just blew my mind. Here's a little fun fact for you. Did you know that cougars, and I mean like the cat cougar, not the... You know what I mean? Did you know that cougars are the only big cat that purrs?
No, I didn't. But now I do. They purr,
bro, it's bassy, bro. Like, you think, picture your kitty's purr times like 50. It's like, it's something, bro. For real, though. For real.
That's a new fun fact I'm gonna use, because I love fun facts and having these little stories that, like, nobody thinks about them. It blows your mind.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Now, man, I'm gonna give you one guess, and one guess only. What's my favorite animal? Dun dun dun.
Turtle.
Yeah.
Bam!
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah. You got it. Now,
hell yeah.
Now allow me to explain it. Because one time I was at work, my previous job, and I was like, oh, I like your customer. I like your tattoo to a customer. I didn't say I like the customer, although I guess the customer was pretty chill. But you say like your tattoo, and we were talking about tattoos, and explained how I'm going to get a turtle tattoo. Just a big giant red piece on my side because I love turtles, and they're like my spirit animals. And I began to gush about turtles. Now let me tell you, and list off the reasons why I love turtles and why they're a part of my name, PxnkTxrtle. It's because turtles, they're often called slow and discredited and overlooked. But putting a turtle in the water in its own element and it takes off. It's the best at what it does. Not only that, but have you seen a turtle on land? Like, they're a lot faster than they're given credit for. So on top of like,
I have, man.
so on
I
top
have
of,
seen a couple things.
So on top of excelling in their element, they're also better than they're given credit for in general. Okay, so that's one reason. Number two, the turtle, his home is the road. He carries his house on his back, and it's just wherever he goes. He just does whatever. Three, turtles are just really chill. Nothing bothers a turtle. They just do whatever. I got my roommate, dude. He's in the corner. Dude never complains about my TV or anything. He'll maybe dance in the water with me if I'm going ham in my room, but like, he's pretty chill. And that's why his name's Dude. Also, the last reason, they're so perseverant, and like, they can just go into their shell and recoil. They can just take anything. They don't dish it out. They don't attack. They're not like vicious predators, but they can handle a beating. And like, I just relate to turtles so much, man. And that's why I include them in my name. Why I have many turtles.
Right. No, you actually just blew my mind. I never thought of a turtle in such a fashion. Yeah, no, for real. Like, now, I have a million turtles now. I mean, I already love turtles, but like now I'm just like, I gotta give a turtle props now. It's like, yo, keep going, bro. Like,
I'm going. There's a future merch that I'm gonna release. It's gonna be a picture of Dude, and I'm gonna slap it on a shirt and go give him X's over his eyes like my PxnkTxrtle character does, and going to give it a black and white filter like those really hardcore punk photos are from like in the 90s and stuff. And I'm gonna caption it, God Save the Turtles, kind of like God Save the Queen, the amazing Sex Pistols album, and Sex Pistols are undeniably punk. So I'm gonna do that and release it, and part of my proceeds, I'll donate to Turtles, because God Save the Turtles.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. I feel you. Save the turtles, man. Save the turtles. Fucking cut up your fucking six-pack things, people. Seriously. Have you seen the videos?
I've seen the videos. But one more turtle fact. One more turtle fact. They'll blow your mind. That I learned. I always like to tell people this. So you know spaghetti bowls, right? Like you got your bread bowl and the spaghetti's in it. And you know jellyfish, right? How they like sting you and they're poisonous because they have this like neurotoxin, whatever. Sea turtles don't give a fuck. They just
don't they eat them motherfuckers?
They eat them like a spaghetti bowl. They go from the tentacles inward, and then they eat the jelly part like the bowl. And it's just they close their eyes, they bat the stingers away, and just eat it. Like they don't give a fuck. That's metal. Yeah, turtles are punk as fuck. Dude,
hell yeah, bro, hell yeah.
Do you understand why they're my logo now? Why Dude is my muse and inspiration?
Honestly, I definitely do. I never thought of turtles, and I never ever viewed turtles in such a fashion. And honestly, wow, you blew my mind again today, bro. You're on the ball with this.
Yeah, it's what I do. I like to have these little facts and tangents that can dish out as I please.
Hell yeah, bro. I love this kind of shit.
Now, back to a serious thing again, because it like loops back to something you mentioned earlier. Because you were talking about like your songs and like death was a concept that was mentioned. What do you think happens? Like when you die?
See, when it comes, so before I go on, know that I'm not a religious person, but I'm definitely a spiritual person. It's not that I think that religion is wrong in any way. I think that every religion has its own key characteristics that are definitely wholesome and humble and very good to follow. And the concept of religion is that it gives people hope. It gives people a reason to get out of bed in the morning. It gives people a reason to live without being petrified in fear. You know, but in my opinion, when it comes to death, death is, see, the funny thing is that death doesn't scare me as much as time. Time scares me more than death. And what scares me more than death is running out of time. That's what scares me more than actual death. And the way I look at death is like Schrodinger's cat. It's this box with this cat in it. And there's, you know the concept of Schrodinger's cat.
I fucking love it. I reference it all the time. Everything I say, everything that comes out of my mouth is a reference.
Exactly, right? So Schrodinger's cat is like, the cat can either be alive or dead. That's the way I look at the afterlife. Either it is or it isn't. And I will only have the pleasure of knowing until after I die. And you know, like, I think what people have all wrong about death is that, like, even scientists, what I believe is, I believe that people are so hell-bent on compartmentalizing either religion or science. It's either this way or that way. What I think it is it's both. I think that science and spirituality come hand in hand. You know, like, it's like physics, you know, and, like, when it comes to death, it's just, what people don't understand is that it is something incomprehensible to the human mind. It's such as the universe. The universe is so vast and so big with infinite possibilities. It's incomprehensible.
Man, this leads into my thoughts on it. Okay? You ready for this?
Right.
Now, I totally feel everything you were saying. Like, up to the back, rewind in my personal life further, few episodes ago, like a few seasons more like, I was really scared of death, but then depression happened and like a thing happened and I wasn't scared of death anymore, because once you hit that point where you try to like take your own life, then it doesn't scare you anymore. And I've learned and evolved from there. But I'm still not as afraid of death. And what I used to think happens is just nothing. It's just like blackness. Nothing happens. Nothing exists. But like, the other part of me was thinking just, I can't wrap my mind around that. It doesn't make sense. And everything needs to make sense. So like, you could, what if every religion's got it right? Now, when you die, your soul or whatever, your consciousness, goes to what you believe. And it'll go, if you believe in heaven, you'll go heaven. If you believe in hell, you go hell. You believe in reincarnation, you'll be reincarnated. Whatever you truly believe will happen is what will happen, because time is infinite and just keeps on going. So it's hard to believe there will just be blackness for infinity. It's just not conceivable. Like, your consciousness, as you know it right now, it's just always active. So it's impossible to imagine it not being inactive. So it'll just, something will happen. You'll come back. It'll be like a new save file.
I almost like to think of it as, when you die, it's almost like you wake up from a bad dream. You know what I mean? It's like you'll be like, whoa, and like all of a sudden it'll come flooding back to you again, what the real meaning and purpose behind it is. Almost like I said, you know, when you wake up from a bad dream and you feel relieved, you know, that it was just a dream. I almost feel like that's what's going to happen once we die. Well, you know what I mean? It'll all come flooding back, and it'll be this alternate reality that we, you know what, it's just mind-bending.
Exactly. Like I say, I talk really highly about how the way things should be and how it can be better. And people have told me like, oh, you're unrealistic, you want utopia, but what's wrong with that? The people have the power. if we all work together, we can make it perfect and we can have that utopia. That's why I have a hard time believing in like a god, because not to like get offensive, although I really don't care if it's offensive. It's just my thoughts.
I feel you.
It's like, why would somebody allow this amount of crappy stuff to happen? Why is it even a thing? You couldn't do something better with yourself? You couldn't be like, hey, I'm gonna let these people do what they want. I'm going to give them food. I'm gonna make them not struggle. Like, why are you making it hard for people? Why did you put the game on hard mode when some people don't want to play hard mode? They're just casuals.
I feel you, man. And honestly, when it comes to that, the way that I look at God, whether or not this entity exists, which I like to believe does, the way I envision God is that God gives us the cards and we got to play them. You know, God is the card dealer, and you could be dealt a shitty hand, you could be dealt an amazing hand. And we're basically just in this massive sandbox, and he just throws the cards at us and he's like, go play. You know what I mean?
It's like we got a bad hand, me and you, but like we're gonna hustle and we're gonna play that hand to the best capability we got.
Exactly, dude. And even if you're dealt a shitty hand, you can still make something out of it. You know, that's another thing that people need to understand. You know, like fucking actually the majority of people that have made it to a height of better life, they were dealt a shitty hand, and because of that shitty hand is what drove them forward. They're like, I don't want to have this fucking shitty hand. I want to be hitting 21. You know, I want to be hitting blackjack. I want to be getting all the chips, you know, and that's what they did. You know, like that's the way I envision God. Most people envision God as this loving, compassionate, caring being. I envision God as this cold entity. This entity that all it is like I said, it deals the cards and it lets us do the rest. You know, and that's basically it. And again, it's only until after we die where we really figure out what it all means. Or maybe it is this black. You know, like we don't know, and these are the things.
So much possibilities.
Huh?
So much possibilities, and like
infinite.
As far as creation goes, like if you were to really get into it, and talking superpowers like we were earlier, I really feel that based on quantum theory and all this scientific jargon, that if you had full power, you could create anything. Because, like, see my phone right here, okay? And see this water bottle? They're the same fucking thing. Because, like, they're matter. Like, if you break it down to its core piece, it's the same thing. And if you rearrange the blocks, you can turn a phone into a water bottle. You can turn a microphone into a tiger. Because you just need to use that matter and rebuild it. And it's the way the light reflects off it, and like that's just getting really into it. But people have
that's like a cellular level. Wow.
Yes, exactly. I've went down rabbit holes. I look into things because I just love knowing what people think and how stuff works. So I do this all the time.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But like, to loop this whole video back around the music, like, who...
Yeah, we've gone down a couple rabbit holes, haven't we?
We have. That's the intention. We're just talking about things that I think people should talk about. So, but back to music, like, who are some artists that you think people should be on the lookout for and should pay attention to? If you're on my platform now, so you use my microphone, directing it to you, who should people pay attention to?
Well, I definitely have somebody here. I have my man Givey Gives. I've done 2 features with the guy. He's from Windsor. I did a feature with him on my Realization mixtape called Bring Back the Boom Bap. Dope track. And then me and him just recently, about a couple months ago, laid out a track on his newest album that's going to be coming hopefully the next time we can get him back out in the studio. Old School Cool. Shout out Givey Gives. I did a feature with him on Won't Break Who I Am. So I definitely recommend everybody go out and check out Gibby. Gibby Gives. Like, this guy is super dope. Raw, untapped talent. Honestly, shout out my homie. And then I have another buddy that I just reconnected with. He's named Scotty B. He's got one track on SoundCloud, but he's been doing this shit for a long time. He's been kind of behind the scenes. If anybody wants to go check that track out, it's called Scotty B, The Breakthrough on SoundCloud. Very dope track. I'm talking about underground artists such as myself.
For sure. These are the things that get overlooked. People need to be on this, because I know when I found Grandson, when they only had like 3 songs, I like hyped the fuck out of them. I have their hat, I have their jacket. I made their first piece of merch ever myself because they didn't have any to sell. So I asked if I could make one just to represent them. And like, so I've hyped them up, and watching people grow is an amazing feeling, and I love to do it. So that's why you gotta pay attention to everybody. Even if they're just small, they may not always be small.
Exactly, bro. Like, you know, and that's what I love about it. Success is the best revenge. Typically when people are small, nobody thinks anything of them, or they look down at them. But then when they hit the top, it's like, you know, it's the game's changed, and I love that shit. And I always brag to all of my friends and family about how you were the first top fan on their Facebook page. Not only that, you were a huge fan before they were even famous.
I fucking love that.
Them. Yeah, bro, I tell everybody this shit. Whenever your name comes up and I talk about you, I always mention how you were the first one, and I love how you're having me out here in this interview to do this, this early type of exposure, you know, like, so I definitely see a trend you got here. You're getting the, you seem to have a talent with scoping out talent before it's even recognized as talent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's some dope shit, man. Mad respect.
I feel like my highest stat is my charisma. That's why I like being in front of the camera. Why I like talking so much. Why I just like making connections with people. And that's why I do what I do. And like, I was talking about inspirations earlier. I said you're one of the inspirations. Watching people like you come up. But also Quadeca, who I also reacted to. And Grandson, who I'm planning a whole entire video for. Because you know, as my friend, how obsessed I am with them. As if that wasn't clear by this video.
You turned me on to them as well, right? Yeah, like I started listening to them after, and then they dropped Apologize and Is This What You Wanted? All these dope tracks.
You Wanted is mind-blowing. They're all mind-blowing.
Oh, so good, bro. Such a good song. I used to rock that at the gym all the fucking time, man. Like, I still rock that jam. All of them, bro. Such dope tracks. They redid Maria by Rage Against the Machine.
I've heard that too. Everything they do, I know, man.
Yeah, bro. Oh my god, Maria was such a dope track from Rage Against the Machine. It was such a fucked up, real life concept. And then when they redid it, I was like, yo, these guys know some shit, you know, like they know about the punk movement. You know, like they're in it. They're even like covering the history of it, you know, so
exactly.
It's dope.
Like, that's why my musical inspirations are people who, like, stand for something, and people who, like, are, like, an inspiration to look at. Like, Grandson, I've watched them come up. Like, you just compared them to how they covered the Rage Against the Machine song. I call them the new Rage. Like, I compare them, not, like, saying that's all they are. Because he's been releasing some different stuff right now, which is still good. Still check him out. But it's, like, real impactful, meaningful songs. And I met him. He remembered who I was off of Facebook, because I talked to him and DM'd him. He gave me a hug. He's a really down-to-earth guy, as every bit as down-to-earth as you'd expect. Yeah. So like, you're also an artist who's a really down-to-earth dope guy. Quadeca is another one who I did a reaction to. He's a YouTube rapper, but like he started making FIFA videos and stuff, and he was doing like reacts and like, but he released the fire song, and he's been releasing fire songs, and he's getting bigger, and people are noticing him, and like people who like are really genuine people and like come up on their own just get so much respect.
I feel you, man. I feel you, and especially coming up on their own too. You know, because as you already know, it's not an easy road. there's a lot of potholes, and you're going to deal with a lot of jams. You got to learn how to bob and weave, and, well, use your turtle shell.
Yeah.
Keep crossing the road. Like fucking, I love it, bro.
Turtle
Hell
shell.
yeah. Turtle shell, dog. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna do some merch eventually where the hood will have something to do with the show, because like that was impromptu on the fly when I first did that and we were talking, but like that's pretty hype. I gotta do something with the hood. That's gonna be cool.
I love it. That's cool, man. I love it. And like, well, it's just so cool because I had my own concept of a turtle shell, which I call the deflector shields. I like to think of the Death Star. You know what I mean? And it's got that invisible shield. And like, but I like this turtle shell, bro. Like, I love it, because I just find it crazy how we both had our own concept of that, because we both have high anxiety, and you gotta figure out your own coping mechanism to be able to get through this. Oh yeah.
So we've talked for a long time. We've covered stuff from religion and death and like the machine, the system. We've talked about artists we think you should pay attention to. And we've talked about your stuff that's coming. So one last time, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and when your stuff's coming, what they can look forward to.
Well, we got my new single, Control, dropping at midnight tonight. It will be available on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, you name it. It'll be available on all platforms. And then I have Oblivion coming out 4/20/2020, Tuesday. I believe that's a Tuesday. So be in tune for that. Full album will be dropping then. And yeah, I believe that's all the content that I have coming in due time this month. And then I'm hoping to have something else also finished for the summer, but that's for the summer. So
Cool.
We'll get into that next interview. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We definitely go do a next video. So you can find his Facebook page, RealEyez. Drop him a like. Find him on Spotify, H.A.R.T.U.N.G. See, I've repeated it so much times I have it down pat, bro.
There you go, bro. And here's a little side note for all y'all wondering why there's dots. DistroKid wouldn't let me make my name H.A.R.T.U.N.G all caps, and that's how I wanted it to be. So the only way I could do all caps was if I put a period in between. So it kind of looks funky.
Loopholes in the system. Yes.
Exactly, bro. And then Givey Gibbs, the guy I just shouted out there, he's like, is that an acronym for something? I'm like, I've tried to come up with one, but I can't come up with one. And then he just comes at me, he's like, Heart and Rage Twisted Underground. And I'm like, wow, you just blew my mind, bro. I'm like, hell yeah. So like, but yeah, find me at H.A.R.T.U.N.G. Oh wait, no, you already got it. Like,
yeah, I know, it's hard to remember it. And
it even screwed me up, bro.
Yeah. And you can follow me at PxnkTxrtle on my Facebook page. Give that a like. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that bell. I'll keep trying to push out content as much as I can during these hard times. Keep it going. Check out my store. I'm working on a lot of stuff that's coming up. And this video was so long, I'm not even going to record a separate outro. So me and Zed here, RealEyez, we're going to do an outro together. So until next time, my dudes. Pay attention.
Nation, help me become tool and world domination. Stars in the sky, watch the constellations. Words are combined through imagination. Tragedy dies but leaves devastation. I finally found my inspiration.